Dear children, at the beginning of this lesson, you have learnt about the various internal problems faced by India in the early days of independence and the policies followed by the government of India to overcome them. It is an indisputable fact that the development of a country depends not only on the domestic policies pursued by the government but also on the foreign policy. What was the foreign policy of India in the early days of independence? What were the basic principles underlying it? Let us now find out. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, is also known as the maker of foreign policy of India. India has shaped its foreign policy on the basis of the non-alignment and Panchashila principles. In the early days of independence, the world was dominated by the two power blocs under the leadership of the United States and Union Soviet Socialist Russia. And then they were continuing the Cold War as part of spreading their ideology, forcing other countries to join into their bloc. At the same time, India is plagued by many issues such as separatism, religious violence, poverty, unemployment, etc. And hence, there was a need to design such a foreign policy carefully, keeping in view the interests and development of our country. Jawaharlal Nehru followed a foreign policy of not joining in the two alliances or power blocs. It doesn't mean staying completely away from international affairs. Nehru said that non-alignment was an independent foreign policy that took an active part in addressing the international issues while protecting the interests of our country and making decisions based on the rationality of the issues. It doesn't work for or against any alliance or group. The non-alignment policy was based on the principles agreed upon at the 1955 conference held in Bandung of Indonesia. Under the leadership of Nehru, Yugoslavian President Marshal Tito, Egyptian President Nasser, and Indonesian President Sukarno together turned it into an international movement. The countries following this policy held their first official meeting in 1961 in Belgrade, the capital of Yugoslavia. Gradually, it became a strong international platform with 120 countries participating. This movement had a significant impact on the world politics, which was working against such notions of colonialism, imperialism, and racism, etc. Panchashila principles are another important aspect in our country's foreign policy. These were mentioned in the bilateral agreement of 1954 between Chinese Prime Minister Zhou Enlai and Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. The agreement was on Tibet. Therefore, this agreement is also known as the Panchashila Agreement. The 5 principles of this agreement were: number 1, mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. Number 2, mutual non-aggression. Number 3, mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs. 4, equality and mutual benefit. And number 5, peaceful coexistence. Nehru reaffirmed these five principles at the 1955 Bonn Conference, which was held to reiterate the commitment of member countries for world peace and to exhibit the Afro-Asian solidarity. These are included as key principles in the final agreement of the conference. However, during the same period, India had to face aggression from Pakistan, especially in the case of Kashmir in 1948 and 1965, and in the case of Bangladesh in 1971. Similarly, in 1962, China launched a surprise attack on India in violation of the Panchsheel Agreement. Lacking the preparedness for the attack, India suffered heavy casualties and property damage. Though there were some setbacks and challenges in pursuing this policy, it succeeded in establishing India as the beacon light of world peace. Why did India follow the non-alignment policy after independence? Mention the Panchsheel principles. Do you think that the Panchsheel agreement signed by India with China is a success or failure?